right, welcome back. We are on to the discussion segment of the program, and of course, it's a loaded section we're going to have. So quickly, we have the first guest in-house, and we're going to be talking about effects of entrepreneurs in a growing Nigerian economy. And we have Dr. Habib Olamitoye, who is described as a purpose-driven and self-motivated medical practitioner and business leader. As our guest, Dr. Habib, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Dr. Habib, you're welcome once again.
Thank you. Good to see you.
We know that you are a medical doctor.
Yes.
And you are still a business owner. Why the
An
deviation?
I started by being a medical practitioner around a hospital, and then I migrated or matriculated to running the hospital in my absence. That was about 23 years ago, and then that allowed me to grow the people that could run the hospital. And then I started another hospital in Lagos, and then we just cut and pasted the same system. And then I came to Ibadan, started a hospital, and then cut and pasted the same system. And then another hospital in Ibadan, cut and pasted. And then we started a hotel. You know, hospitality is the same. So, and then it's basically the same thing. Once you are able to create a system within a business environment, then it can be replicated 1,000-fold. Can actually.
As an entrepreneur, okay, let me just come in. As an entrepreneur, how do you describe Nigeria's economy? Growing or challenging economy?
Well, I think it is both. It is growing, and you see, people grow during turbulent times faster than during quiet times. The challenge, the demand for a change in the way things are done will stimulate creativity and innovation, and then will permit people to work at the edge of their resourcefulness. It will demand new ways, better ways of doing things. So I think we're in for tremendous revolution in business.
What kind of challenges, how hard is it now to become a successful entrepreneur in this type of economy?
Yes, the kind of entrepreneurship we've been having in Nigeria had been the kind that our forefathers put on ground. That is, to start a business and to become rich, and then to become happy. And then as we grow old, the businesses will grow old, and then the businesses, in most cases, will die before the creator. So Nigerians are beginning to see that this approach cannot hold water anymore. Yeah. And then we are beginning to look at the ways that small businesses are transformed into family businesses, are transformed into transgenerational businesses. We are beginning to look at ways of handling business empires. What I mean by conglomerates, where you have one business and then you grow a system around it by learning how. You see, Nigerians are beginning to see that knowledge should be the precursor of intelligent business operations, and that people are beginning to look at reading and leading as a way of running the businesses of the future, and that businesses should be conducted knowledge-based, and that you must be looking at business like you look at gynecology. You must be looking at that the way you look at operations. You have to learn how to run business. You cannot do it the old, tired ways any longer. This your profession demands knowledge, demands awareness about communication skills. The same way, business skills, the way to hire people must be learned. To hire the right people is the first law of management. And that if you are going to manage well, you have to put the right people, and then you have to train the right people. You understand? You cannot hire people and train them to be nice. You have to hire nice people first. And then these are trainable, teachable people. And then you have to put them in the right proportion. They have to know what they're supposed to do in that position, meaning that they must know what their job descriptions are. And then you have to structure the business in a hierarchical fashion, in a manner that we call developing the organogram. That is, the positions, various positions needed to perfect the business system must be established. And that the roles of everybody should be spelled out. And that, you see, business is teamwork, is developing team spirit, is organizing people to become warriors that get results. You understand now? Meaning that the goals of the organization must be established. What are the demands of the organization? Who are they to serve? Who are the customers? And then how can they be satisfied? Customers want two things. They want you to solve their problems. Two, they want you to feel good in the discharge of your duties. If you can supply those two, then you'll be in business.
Okay.
If you cannot supply the two, then you are out of the market.
Okay, doctor, let me ask you this. We know that business owners are those who go to, let's say, to school and study some courses like business administration, marketing, and all that. But these days we see that professionals like you, doctors, are into entrepreneurs. Why is this so now? Is it to grow the economy or to make business owner more abundant everywhere in Nigeria?
Yes. Business professionals, those who read business administration in the university, may not be entrepreneurial in spirit.
Okay.
You understand? The people who do well in entrepreneurship might not actually go to university to read business. I have an MBA, but long before I did my MBA, I was already running 4 hospitals. And those 4 hospitals were running in my absence. This thing we call business can be read at home. The best personal development program is conducted at home in your study, where you wake up 4 a.m. to look at what you are doing, to read the biographies of successful business owners in the world, and then to see how business is being conducted, to apply what you learn on a daily basis to what you do. You understand? Success is achieved one day at a time. You can't succeed in 1 year unless you have a successive succession of successful days. Successful days linked together. Today, you know how successful people live their day. So what do? You just pattern your day at a time, each day at a time, according to such a pattern. You understand? Success is not something you do by what you are told by your father, unless your father is very successful and is running a successful pattern. You understand? It's not what you do according to the wisdom or lack of it that you derive from your in-law or your friends. You have to pattern what you do according to what experts, what successful role models do. You understand now? Some of the time you get to know them and you listen to them and you take to their advice. At other time, you read their books if they are not available. You understand? Nigerians, the ones that are thriving, that are doing great businesses, are the people who convert business books into manuals on how to conduct effective business operations. You understand what I mean? So the tide is changing. The music, the drum is changing. So the way people dance is beginning to transform.
Doctor, how do one restrict or resist rather emotions when it comes to setting up business and becoming a successful entrepreneur, especially you want to make it a family business. You want your relatives to head the organogram, as you have just mentioned. You have your son to take over from you. This at times works. This at times don't work. And I know definitely you must have been talking about this too when you talk to people at this level of entrepreneurship and becoming a successful one. Am I making sense?
Yes, that is a very intelligent question. When I mention family business, I do not infer extended family businesses. There are more to establishing a family business than the issue of bringing people who don't deserve to be there. You understand now? For instance, I run 6 companies and then don't have any of my extended family people in any of those businesses. Today, I don't do employment because we have trained personnel department on how to organize business. They have watched many videos on how to conduct interviews, and then they have gotten a lot of training on all of that. Whether a family business, extended family member, or other people in the society, the key thing is that they must merit the position. They must have history of achievement. They must be the kind of people who know the mechanism of producing results. You understand now? And then talking about children, leadership must be exhibited everywhere, whether in business or at home. You understand?
Yeah.
The mechanism of running family business is that you grow the children to follow the path of entrepreneurship right from childhood. They begin to read books about business. When you talk on the dinner table, you talk about goal setting, you talk about affirmations, you talk about vision, you talk about things like that. They begin to imbibe the spirit of it is doing this that can qualify them to work even in your own business.
Okay.
You understand? You see, polygamy, the kind of system we have in the family of yesteryears in Nigeria cannot permit the incorporation of family members, because there is competition, there is what we call sibling rivalry in polygamy. And then when you bring in all of the things like that, emotions, feelings, and politicking will be brought to bear in the business place, and that will bring down efficiency and result orientation and action orientation in the business place.
Doctor, talking about entrepreneurs now and growing the economy, especially in Nigeria, we know that SMEs are mostly run by these entrepreneurs. Do you think that there is a gap between entrepreneurs and growing the nation's economy?
All over the world, in civilized nations, 65% of jobs, creative jobs available are provided by entrepreneurs. You understand? It is reliance of capricious government to provide gainful employment that is the problem we currently have in Nigeria. If, like I said, the Nigeria of the future will consist of business enterprises that are being run by intelligent, proactive leaders who run businesses and run systems in the business system in such places where business growth is dependent on intelligent information and awareness, where businesses grow. For instance, look at the United Kingdom. Look at Sainsbury, for instance, one of the leading business operations in England, was once a family business. It's still a family business. Barclays Bank in England, it's a family business. But all of these businesses have been run professionally. You understand? And then most of those big businesses are like the Virgin Empires was started one day as a little small operation and then has gone into various nations, and these people provide employment. That is the thinking behind the revolution that is silently going on in Nigeria today in respect to ways of improving the economy by virtue of improving workforce through gainful employment, through creating awareness on the new ways of doing
Doctor, let me ask you this before you. We know that youth nowadays are involved in some businesses and some are making name for themselves. Do you think youth involvement is enough to grow the economy, looking at the entrepreneurship and
yes,
sector?
The future of Nigeria depends on these youth you're talking about. So when I'm talking about, you see, a lot of our adults are already very rigid and very strict jacketed,
not creative
in
enough.
their ways. They are already within the framework of the old ways of doing businesses. So if a few of us are now carrying out evangelism, making a crusade out of building businesses that are knowledge-based, that our youths should not follow the pattern of our ancestors in generating. There are modern approach to doing businesses. Businesses must be a result, a derivative of intelligent knowledge acquisition and application that can transform people and resources into profit makers, into employment creators.
Is it making an impact?
Well, it's building, and people are abandoning the old ways of doing business. It might not make immediate impacts today, but transformation is going on.
Dr. Habib, I know that you are a passionate teacher of entrepreneurial principles who has produced several CDs and delivered memorial seminars on business creation and, of course, personal development. I also know that you founded, and of course you are the facilitator of this outfit, 100/10 Academy, which is a human resource outfit originally designed to raise 100 billionaires every 10 years. That's where I'm going. How feasible?
Yes. You see, people who begin operations, whether in business or in life, start by determining where they're going. They have a vision which is greater than themselves. And then they begin to matriculate in the direction of the vision, of the dream. Dreams should be big. Great dreams make great men. And then when you begin to create the dream, you are going to organize an assemblage of like-minded people. This is where we are going. Join hands. Anything you have done, you can teach other people to do. Especially when you have been able to grow yourself to represent a role model for the people that you want to transform. Once you know the path, you can show other people the path. You understand now? The difference between a beggar and a billionaire is awareness, is knowledge, is the know-how. So, and then these things start to grow and then begin to grow. But you must be relentless. You must be passionate. You must never stop. You must never give up. Because you know where you are going. They say that the road to success and the road to failure is opposite each other. So once you know that you have failure behind you, and then you are in the direction of where you are going, then you just keep moving. And then you don't just move. You move knowledge-based. You read books on how to transform people's lives. You read books on how to organize youths and on the way to prosperity. You see, the beginning of any kind of achievement is to stop getting worse. When you turn 180 degrees away from failure and then you face success, then you keep people focused on the success. A lot of distractions are outside there. So you remove distraction from the way of people, and then meaning that you have to keep them going on a daily basis. You have to organize seminars to them, and then you have to show by example where you want them to go.
No matter the lectures, no matter the creativity, a successful entrepreneurs that will contribute to the economy must thrive in an enabling environment. Are they thriving in an enabling environment in Nigeria? If they are not, what should the government do to actually create this enabling environment? Since it is obvious that government cannot provide all the work. So for the economy to grow, you need many more successful entrepreneurs. But what about the enabling environment? Is it right? If it's not right, what should be done?
Akim, do you know?
I don't know.
That in Nigeria today, many people are succeeding in spite of what you call enabling environment. If you are going to wait for enabling environment, you might be waiting forever. You understand now? When the going is tough, the tough keep going. You understand now? We have to advise all our youths to enlist in the army of those who are tough. So you understand? A lot of people, no matter the conditions, Biggie mentioned that. Biggie mentioned it well. He said, if you are born into a poor family, it is not your fault. But if you remain poor, then it's your choice. Everything in life is a choice. If you want to join those who are complaining about the government, who are complaining about the weather, about electricity, about road, about taxes, about uncle that is not giving money, about parents that are not, teachers that are not teaching entrepreneurship, teachers that don't. If you're going to wait for people like that before you begin to plunge your head into the manuals, there are books to be read. They are in bookshop. They are in bookshop. You can't just fold your arms and then allow manners to to fall from heaven.
Okay, doctor, sorry to cut you short. Before we go, we want to close this segment now. What do you think we can do to grow the economy in Nigeria using the entrepreneurs? What should be done emphatically?
I've already mentioned it, that business should be respected. And that the people that can grow economy the most are the entrepreneurs. And that the way to grow them, because it's the entrepreneurs that will pay taxes. And then bigger taxes. And then if we focus on making entrepreneurship knowledge-based, to learn the trade, to allow entrepreneurs to see themselves as perennial students, as apprentices in the knowledge of how to make profits, how to grow people, how to set goals, how to create vision. That is the way out.
All right.
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful, Charity and I were just watching. It's like lectures, and of course, we must have a way to actually make you very relevant on a weekly basis. That we will make sure, because we need to learn. We need to allow people to learn from your experience as a successful medical practitioner, cum entrepreneur, on how to move things forward. You have just said it all. There is no situation that should make you sit back if you want to be relevant as an entrepreneur. And of course, entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs are also relevant to the growing economy like what we have in Nigeria. Once again, Dr. Abib Olamitoye, we want to thank you very much for having time to come to the program.
So much.
I know you came all the way from Lagos and you came to time. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you so
very
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Olamitoye.
Yes, thank you so much.
Of course, we just take this break, but go nowhere. We're still here on this Ash Wednesday edition of Newdwan with Charity James and Hakeem Akitunde. We'll be back. Yeah, you're welcome back. We have another guest in the house. If you don't know, we have an august visitor right now in the state, especially among the first estate of the realm, that is talking about journalists. We have the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Ogun State. He's been on a nationwide tour. He's been to some states from Oyo State. He's been to Osun, he's been to Oyo, then from Ogun. He will leave for Lagos, and of course for a working visit, a familiarization tour, and of course to actually say that things are done the way they should be done. On this, we want to actually welcome the NUJ president to Abeokuta, to Ogun State, and to OGTV, to Newdwan. Let me welcome Chris Izuguzo, the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Our president, you're welcome to Ogun State. We know that you've been to several states. According to your speech yesterday when you arrived in Ogun State, you said you've been to 15 states.
Yeah.
15 states. And we want to know, what is the motive, your motive? You've been in office well over 1 year now, and you've been going around.
Well,
what is the motive?
Thank you very much. The primary reason why we are going round is to interface with our colleagues, reconnect with them, know how they are faring at their various workplaces. Because the union should be concerned about how members are faring at various places. And that's why we decided to create this platform. Besides, during the electioneering campaign, I recall that I did promise that we are going to create platform for constant interaction. And it's not going to be a one-off thing. During campaigns, we just go around, and at the end of it, we return to office, and we don't get to know how people are doing. So this is in keeping to that pledge that we made during the electioneering campaigns, that will create platforms for constant exchanges, interactions, interface, communication. Immediately we came aboard, in order to achieve that, we made it a point of duty to be on the platforms of all the state councils, 37 of them. That way, we can easily discuss and address issues that come up without necessarily going through the usual bureaucratic bottlenecks, you know. So that's why we created that platform. Now, beyond the WhatsApp platforms, we are now going around meeting with our people one-on-one. You know, like I said yesterday, we've concluded our visit to the Northeast. We've also done same in the North Central. We are concluding the Southwest, and of course other places from here. We move to Northwest, that has 7 states. So it's something that we feel is timely, is apt, is imperative. And that's why we're doing it. And the results have been massive.
One thing is to actually be on the WhatsApp platform of these various states, chapels, unions, and of course, one thing is to actually interface as you have done or you have been doing. What has been the feelers?
Well, now members are being given sense of belonging. Because when we go there, we are not just coming to look at how you are faring. We also try to tell you what we are doing. And you also bring your own suggestions, your own ideas on how we are going to build our union and make it strong. So people are now part and parcel of their union. So it's not a question of when the president looked like a masquerade, that each time he appears, the whole place stumbles, that the president is around. We don't want to continue to mystify the office of the president. We have decided to demystify it so that you can easily interact with us. I'm a reporter. So why should I just go sit in Abuja? You know, we should go around, sit down. I understand what it takes to be a practitioner out there. You know, I work with This Day. I'm a regional editor. You understand? So I understand how these things work. So that's why I felt it is needful for me to make out time, go around to sit with our colleagues, and they are so excited. There are places we go, they say, that this is the first time that a president is coming. You know, we went to Ondo State. We met somebody that had practiced for 28, 30 years. And we went to his office. He was like, this is the first time that the president will be coming to this establishment. Sit down with members, interact with them. And when you try to stop them from asking questions, I will not allow that. I will give them my contact so that people can easily have access. If we are journalists and we are committed to advancing the right to freedom of expression, why must we now pigeonhole ourselves? Keep ourselves in a place that people begin to fear us? No, we don't want it that way. You know that this is your president, you have access to your president.
Now, let's be direct now. Thank God you are here, and of course, many people will want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Every organization, just like any union, must have their own challenges here and there. NUJ is not an exception. Let's come to Ogun State. We can't pretend that things are straight, but from the national point of view, what is the situation in Ogun State?
Thank you very much. You know, I came with a paper here, and perhaps they have to give it back to me, that paper, because I will make reference to it. You know, when election took place here, sometime early this year, right? And some people made themselves lords of the manor and stopped a full chapel from taking part in the election. And we said, we cannot allow that to happen. A full chapel of 37 members, endorsed by the National Secretariat of AUJ. And some people came to Abeokuta and said, no, they won't vote. It's like the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakub, endorsing a voters register. And when people have come to vote at the polling booth, he said, no, you can't vote. We don't recognize you.
Well, these are people sent by national.
You know? Now,
to supervise the
no,
election.
wait. Now we said it is wrong. Midway to that process, we reached out to them and said, you can't continue with this process. We spoke with the police chief here. We spoke with the DSS. We spoke with so many people. Then we gave an instruction. Don't continue with this process. Let us find a way to resolve gray areas that we can continue some other time. And some people, in fact, the representative of the National Secretary, when he returned with his report, he said he was held hostage. The report is there in the office, black and white. Now, when he wanted to leave, they didn't allow him to go. And there's no way you can allow such thing to stand. Expectedly, the Central Working Committee of the Union, which has been empowered by Article 510 of our Constitution to dispense with such issues within 21 days. Right at that election, petitions were sent to the national leadership of the union. That's when the thing starts counting. And when CWC met, they said no, they cannot uphold such process. The vice president of the zone told us that yes, they erred. However, CWC should temper justice with mercy. Well, that means you've accepted guilt. It is now left for CWC to decide on what to do. And CWC said, we have nullified the election. Let's go for fresh election. A caretaker committee was put in place. And in the build-up to fresh elections, some people went to court and all that and all that. We said we cannot discuss with them except they go to court and withdraw. They did that. I had to go to Ibadan. I didn't want to come to Abeokuta. I had an event in Ibadan. I had to now ask the gladiators to come and meet me in Oyo State. We had a meeting that lasted in Oyo State, that lasted up to midnight. When I addressed them, I said, gentlemen, there's nothing we can achieve in an atmosphere of rancor. Now we want to make peace. All of you are here. Soji Amosu and his team, they were there. Wole Sokunbi, his team, they were all there. After addressing them, I said, you people should stay in this room and resolve your problem. And resolve your problem. By the time we come back to this room, I want you people to give me what you've decided on. And of course we did that. By the time we came back, they read out their resolution, which they had agreed on by themselves. And that meeting was held on 31st August last year. Attended by Wale Olarewaju, Soji Amosu, Ayokunle Ewuosho, Wole Sokunbi, Dimeji Kayode, Adedeji, Wale Oluokun, Cosmas Oni, the vice president, Bamibola Bola Gunte, the zonal secretary. Emmanuel Obeche is the chairman of FCT. He accompanied me on that visit. So he also became part of it. We had resolution, they endorsed by themselves. Number one there says, at the end of the peace meeting presided over by the national president, the two groups agreed as follows. One, that a fresh election be conducted in Ogun State Council of NUJ. They endorsed.
The two groups.
The two groups. Number two, that the three groups, there's a Abiodun group. He was not at that meeting.
Okay.
Should present members of the Credentials Committee. Amosu Group, 2. Olubero Group, 2. Ogundikpe Group, 1.
Making 5.
Making it 5 members. That the Kayode Akinshola-led screening committee list should be used for the fresh election. That the chapels in Ogun State Council should all participate in the fresh election. That the zonal secretary, Bami Bola Gunte, should paste the Kayode Akinshola-led screening committee list at the press center before the date of the fresh election. That the two parties, we now went back to the two key parties. Appreciate the national president, Chief Christie, the vice president and others for facilitating and being part of the peace meeting. We agreed on all this. The process started again. They had an electoral committee. At a point, they said, no, they were not giving, that's they here, I mean, Soji Group, that they must be giving it that the chairman or the secretary of the electoral committee. I obliged. We gave them secretary of the electoral committee. They brought 2 persons. Remy brought 2 persons. One other person, like the third group, Abiodu didn't show interest. They now brought 1 more person. So we have 5. Midway into the election, some people rushed to the court again. That they are leaders of the union, they have been elected. I don't know what is driving them. On the day of election, they conducted an election. But sadly, they brought an injunction. That's why the ESCO was not inaugurated. And we had to renew the mandate of the caretaker committee. The caretaker committee is now the one running Ogun Council.
Till when?
Pending when the injunction, the restraining order is vacated.
Okay.
If it is vacated this morning as I'm in this studio, I will inaugurate them today.
Okay, that means there is a standing.
They've been elected.
Okay.
But before you come in charge now, added to that, NUJ State Councils supervises the subsidiaries like NAWOJ, like SWAN. Now, these other unions that are under NUJ naturally are still yet to have their elections. And of course, there are insinuations here and there. So, how does what is happening at the State Council now affect those people?
Nothing affects the NAWOJ in the state. If NAWOJ has leadership at the national,
And so, okay.
you know, and they are authorized to conduct their elections.
Okay.
There's no, and they will naturally send somebody from the National Secretariat to conduct elections at the NAWOJ level.
Is it the same with SWAN? Because I know that will bring me to the next question, which will now dovetail to what is happening in so many other states like Ogun State. What is the situation? You supervise SWAN also at the national level. And we know that there were 2 elections. Who is in charge? That is in the eyes of national.
Well, as far as we're concerned, when this crisis started brewing in SWAN, I called the then national chairman of SWAN, Honor Sirawo, who is of course my personal friend. I said we needed to sit down and control this brewing crisis quickly before it snowballs into something else. He refused to come. On the day they have scheduled for the election, of course before then we had written officially saying that no election should take place, we will not recognize any. Later I learned that the election took place in Port Harcourt and another election took place in Abuja. We don't recognize any. That's the reality. Now NEC had set up a committee to reconcile the warring parties, which was what we had planned from the beginning. But because the leadership then refused to do the needful, that's why we are where we are now. If we had had that meeting earlier on, maybe by now we would have resolved all the problems. Now we are back to the same number of square one to reconcile. The committee is expected to submit their report, and by the time they submit it, we'll meet at the level of NEC again. There are options, either to recognize A, recognize B, or not recognize any, set up caretaker committee and conduct fresh election. And until that is done, we don't recognize anybody in SWAN.
So it is not difficult for any of the factions at national to say they are going to send representatives to supervise SWAN elections at the state levels.
Well, if you want to conduct election here, NUJ has leadership. Here, there's no vacuum.
Okay.
So they can supervise.
So like in Ogun State, the caretaker committee
Is the leadership.
Okay, it's the leadership, they can conduct SWAN.
Is the leadership.
Okay.
President, we want to go a little bit outside what is happening in this in our state councils and look at unionism in its entirety. We know that we are practicing journalists, and must we go in the way of unionism, or let me say political journalists? Now some are practicing, they are calling themselves politicians. in the practice? Is it allowed, and what is the place of unionism and journalism?
I don't really get your drift, but I know that we are unionists. The fact that we are members of Nigeria Union of Journalists, we are unionists, and there's no way you are going to mix the two with the secular or the larger politics. If you have decided to play politics, you go and join politicians. I'm not a politician myself. I'm only a unionist. You understand? So I don't think there is a blend. You know, where if you are a unionist, you are a unionist. You decide to join party politics, you join party politics.
Why I'm asking this is there's some level of desperation in some people who want to aspire for positions, and this is affecting
within the union,
within the union.
Yeah, that
and
is
affecting the practice.
That is the major challenge that we have. People now have become more desperate. That's the problem. They don't understand the fact that power is transient. It comes and goes. It's periodic. 3 years, another person comes. If you've done well, you go back to the people. If they, in their own consideration, you've done well, they return you. If they say, no, you've done your own part, go and rest, you go and rest. Power resides with the people. They decide what happens. No matter the level of desperation that you display, it cannot vitiate the fact that power resides with the people. They are the ones that will decide. I want to really appeal to my colleagues. All this unnecessary hula ballo, desperation, they are not necessary. Let us come together. One thing they don't know is, because you want power at all costs, you are destroying the very fabric of the union. Tomorrow you will have need for the same union. Remember, the union makes us strong. As an individual, you cannot do anything. Just like when you want to sweep this place now, you get just a stick in a bunch of broom. You will keep sweeping this place till 10 years. But when you come together and use the broom, within a twinkle of an eye, the place becomes tidy, right? So we must find a way to bury our desperations, our selfish desires, and look at the bigger picture. Most of our colleagues that are having issues with the security agencies, operatives here and there, is because when we appear as a union, that they listen to us easily. If you go and do it as an individual, nobody will listen to you. And that's the truth. So I'm appealing to Soji Amosu, who, by the way, is my friend. We have no personal issues. He feels he wants to be chairman. If he wants to be chairman, it's a matter of the next 3 years. Election has taken place. Let him cry from now till thy kingdom come. No fresh election is going to be conducted in Ogun. That one is done and dusted. So if he continues to delay in court, it is his wahala. We have done election and we are not changing it. By the time we are through with this, the ESCO will be inaugurated. We are respecting what the court said. Now we should wait. It's a restraining order and we respect the law.
Let's come to you personally, Mr. President. I know you have your own issues too when you won election. Despite the fact that it was crystal clear that you won, eventually there are insinuations here and there, and we heard that some people were challenging it. And recently, on social media, it was also reported that you were denied the US visa because of forgery and all sorts of things. Can you react to that?
Well, you know that social media has come to stay. We just cannot do away with it. When I visited the deputy governor of Kwara in the course of this visitor, do you know what this man told me? He said, when we were discussing off camera, he said that one day he woke up when he just was in office for a few months, and they brought a link to him that he has built a palatial home in his village. They captured graphic details of how monies were withdrawn from bank to either buy block or buy cement, and that in his mind he knows very clearly that He has not built any house. And the house they are describing, he knows the owner. But because of the details they put there, he now started thinking, are you sure I'm not the owner of this house? Maybe it's actually my own and I forgot. That is how bad it has become. So many people in their desperation can concoct anything. You understand? Who in his sane mind, if you go to embassy, especially US embassy, one, you are not allowed to come in with your phone. In fact, you drop your phone at the car park, which is very far from the main office. You don't come in with it. So there's no communication with the outer world, outside world. It is between you and. These people have no communication with you. By the time they ask you one or two, where necessary, they have a default letter. A default letter means already prepared letter for everybody. If you are not giving visa, it's already there. If you are giving, it's already there. So there's no communication. So you can go through that report. They say, I threatened to shut down. Do you know who I am? To shut down embassy. I'll just call my governor friends. That is idiotic. That is lunacy at the highest level. So when you go through, I can't begin to respond to such madness. Because when you start to do that, how many will you respond to? You understand? So it is still the desperation we're talking about. Some people have opened their platforms, and the only way that they can attract traffic to it is to mention my name. You know, my name is a very sweet one. Let me tell you, yesterday or 2 days ago, they forwarded something to me, a link. And they say, Murik gives Isiguzo 7 days to apologize to Sultan. Do you know? Because the Isiguzo name is so sweet, they started flying it here and there without even reading it. So, but by the time the person sent it to me, I opened it. I now saw the former chairman, editorial board of Vanguard newspapers. The Isiguzo. You know him now. Because there was something he wrote, so which they felt was not okay for good for Sultan. So Murik now responded, but because they don't even read, no. So they started flying it. You know what's the C negative? They started flying it here and there and there. I laughed when I read it. I said, look at that. If you want traffic to your platform, just put my name, and people will troop to your platform quickly.
Mr. President, you've answered that, and people have gotten what they need to get. But we want to look at welfareism now in NUJ. What is it? Generally. What level is it? And what
well, you know, the essence of unionism is to protect members and make sure that their welfare, general welfare, is not treated with levity. What is welfare? Welfare is not about dipping hand in the pocket and giving people money. Welfare means when you address the challenges militating against the organization, the union, or the association. When the people are themselves comfortable to take care of themselves, you have solved the welfare problem. Today, we have issues of remuneration, poor remuneration, and people advocating for enhanced media salary structure or package. We have problem of epileptic remuneration, and people are canvassing that people should be paid as and when due. We have problem of training from platforms, training and retraining program. We scarcely hear about them. Insurance, when you are working in a place, you are supposed to have some form of insurance cover, so that you will be bold enough to give in your best. Is lagging behind. Now, these are the things we have concluded in our own mind that let us address them. And when you address these issues, you have solved the welfare challenge facing practitioners. And that's why we are tinkering with journalism enhancement bill the second time. This time around, that is also one of the reasons why we are going around Nigeria. We collect views from members themselves, so that they contribute to this expected bill, which seeks to address these issues that I have raised. Welfare is not giving somebody a bottle of groundnut oil and giving rice. If you have money to do it, it's not bad anyway. I have not condemned it. It's not bad. But how often will you be giving somebody who is not paid in his office, who does not receive his salary, those that receive, they receive something that is meager? And how often will you be giving him bag of rice and bottle of ground oil? Will bag of rice and ground oil pay his children's school fees?
No.
Will that take care of his medical needs? All the challenges that he faces as a family man or a woman? Will bag of rice and ground oil service? That's why it's important to address the foundational challenges facing the union. Once you address them, the sky is your starting point.
Okay, we are hitting the home stretch of this segment of the program. You recently met with the President of the Nation, President Muhammadu Buhari. What was the focus of discussion?
Thank you very much. We met with Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari at the villa, and I didn't go alone. I went with members of my CWC, and they all had the opportunity to interact with Mr. President. The key words there were safety and security of journalists. We made it very clear to Mr. President that this is a big nation, and if you are talking about democratic governance, the unique features of democratic governance is respect for free speech, is respect for rule of law. The people that champion free speech are media people, and if themselves they are not safe, it simply means free speech is restricted. And when free speech is not granted unfettered access to exist, to blossom, democracy is imperiled. And we told Mr. President clearly. We also told Mr. President, because you know that we are supposed to hold government accountable to the people. And we told Mr. President that the security situation in the country is becoming worrisome. I painted a detailed, in fact, graphic details of the security situation in the country. The banditry in the northwest, the insurgency in the northeast, the kidnapping and what have you in the southeast and southwest, the herdsmen menace in the central Nigeria, that's not central, you know, and of course the militants activities in the south. We made it very clear to Mr. President. I would say this is the way it is. If we as journalists don't speak out, nobody will speak for Nigerians. And that's why when we met with him, I didn't go to him to ask for a block. I read the prepared speech, and when I was through, we exchanged some pleasantries, he responded, and we left. It's an opportunity. Ordinarily when you go there, you'll be asking for favor. I didn't do that. I even read in one of the things that Soji Amose and his group are sending that I'm coming to ask governors to give me money for my second term. Second term, I'm still a year, 2-3 months, and you're talking about second term that is still almost 2 years away. That is preposterous. When people are jobless, you know, when I saw you presenting your program, I said, this is one chairman in Ogun. Look at him, he's awake this morning and he's working. Some people wake up in the morning and start making trouble till night because they are jobless. You understand? They are so jobless. If they have job, if they have something they are doing, they won't have time to be making trouble, to be writing all this nonsense they are writing. You understand? You are busy here now. By the time you go out, you at least this morning you woke up very early, 6 a.m. or so, and you rush to the office because you have a job to do. Those people, I will not use words because I know I'm on air and there are words that are not allowed. Those people should look for a job. But if they are okay in their various offices in National Orientation Agency and a world store that is in Ministry of Information, if they think they don't have job they are doing, let them go into rice farming. Or you know, or cocoa farming.
Let's cut you a little bit.
What have you? And stop distracting people.
Let's look at quackery. How is AUJ going to?
We're taking it very seriously. We have a national committee on that that is checking activities of fake journalists and those who are perpetrating quackery in the system. And we expect the committees at all the state councils. In our registration platform, we are also coming up with a new strategy. You know, we came up with this biometric capturing, and it does appear that we still have issues. we want to confront that again, review it, and see how we can improve on it. As I speak, we are working with the Federal Minister of Internal Affairs. Rauf Aregbesola is the minister, and there's something we are working around. By the time we are through, all these issues would have been addressed.
Yeah, I want to thank Prince Chris Isiguzo, the president.
I'm not a prince.
All right.
Chief.
Yes, I'm a chief, I'm a comrade. You know, I'm an Igbo chief, Ugosinachi, one of Igbo land. I'm also Magatakarda of Jalingo. I'm also Garekwa Matasan Arewa. So these are all
3 in 1.
Okay, chief or
comrade.
At the union level.
Let's use comrade.
Chris Isiguzo, I want to thank you for coming. The last time you were in Abeokuta, you came to canvass for votes, and of course you won the election. And of course this time around again, you are coming as the president of NUJ. And so in one word, how does that make you feel?
Well, immediately I came into Abeokuta, I was filled with delight. You know, coming to a place where I was elected. I was elected here in Abeokuta on the 5th of October, 2018. It's such a day I will not forget. And when I was up against an indigene of Abeokuta, and I defeated him in his homestead, carried his mother's soup pot and ran away. So it's a unique feeling.
This
that
comrade is already developing into a politician. Because of the way you speak. Anyway, we want to wish you a happy stay in Abeokuta.
Thank you.
And of course, we know that you still have a whole lot of program for today. You're going to the Alake, you're going to the governor, and of course, tomorrow we'll cap it up with a Congress at the Iwero Secretariat. I want to thank you very much. I want to wish you a happy stay.
My pleasure.
Egbaland.
Thank you very
of course,
much.
by extension in Ogun State. Thanks for coming. We'll take a break, then we'll be back. Of course, I have our last guest in the studio. Let me welcome the representative of the Egba Royalty Club here. We have Ogbeni Bayo Shodade, who is the president of the Egba Royalty Club, and Prince Yomi Adedo, the director of publicity. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you very
Of course, let me quickly tell you that the Royalty Club of Egbaland, formerly known as Ake Royalty Boys, was established about 12-13 years ago and was principally responsible for promoting the game of squash in Egbaland in tandem with the interests of His Royal Majesty Obadedotun Gbadebo, the Alake and Paramount ruler of Egbaland in sports general. And of course, the club is still the Royal Royalty Club of Egbaland was established with the main goals of fostering social, economic, and cultural and sporting development of Egbaland, Ogun State, and Nigeria. Of course, once again, you're welcome. But you have a special program for this celebration. It is not about sports. It is about health outreach. Why?
Okay, the reason is quite simple because when you are talking of health, sports is also part of the things that will foster, good health. And we also believe that if, what we are trying to do is, reach out to the poor and the vulnerable among us and see how we can assist them. Because diabetes and hypertension are the two topmost, silent killers in Nigeria. It's been established that about 30% of Nigerians are hypertensive. That is quite alarming. If you look at our population of 200 million, you are talking of 60 million people that are hypertensive. And for diabetes, we are looking at about 10% of Nigerians, having high blood sugar level. That is also alarming because that's also about 20 million. 20 million is just about the population of the whole of Ghana. So, we want to see how we can assist our people.
Prince Adedo, when and what is going to be the modus operandi for this program?
Well, on ground already, we are using Centenary Hall, Ake. And when you get there now, you must have been seeing the publicity aspect of it. Our banner is there on the wall already. And we have reached out to so many people that will be coming tomorrow. By this time tomorrow, I'm sure that place will not be able to contain people because we are reaching out to the grassroots and they are coming.
Okay, so, well, that is the health. It must have, definitely, you don't put up this type of program without the issue of cash. So, these are the gestures coming from all members, President?
Actually, when we chose this option, we also, knew that we all have to make some sacrifices. So all of us, have contributed. And also, we now reached out to both corporate and well-meaning individuals. And, they have been extremely helpful. And also, we have some partners who are working with us. FMC, Abeokuta, are working with us. We have a letter Eye Institute in Ibadan. They are also coming around. We have Earthline, and we have Quarry Imperial Hotel, providing the hospitality aspect of it. And we also have, Vision Spring.
So a whole lot of organizations coming together. So, well, of course, this is the first time you are coming with, I know that we have always been, all social organizations have always been part of Lishabi Festival, but this is the first time the Royalty Club of Gbaland is coming with something that will also take care of the health of the issue. Is it going to be a one-off affair, or this has come and it will continue yearly with every Lishabi Festival, please?
Well, these have come to stay. When you have a good foundation, we have been on, like you said, in the last 13 years. And apart from reaching to the sport aspect of this program alone, we sat down as a club and said, how can we be impactful to people that are not even in this sport? I mean, that is why we put up this type of gesture, and these have come to stay. By the grace of God, we are even going to, by next year, by next Lishabi Festival, we are going to do more things on health and some other things too. So it's not one off.
Okay, it is, the formation of the Royalty Club of Gbaland is built on the foundation of squash. Why squash?
Okay, luckily for us in Abeokuta, we have a sport-loving Kabiyesi, the Alake and Paramount ruler of Gbaland, Oba Michael Adedotun. Gbadebo. You know, so when he ascended the throne of his forefathers, the first thing he did was to build a squash court in the palace. And, you know, we now decided to take that up and use it as a platform, you know, for youth development in squash. And right now, Ogun State, you know, whom we, you know, just took their players as our awards, and right now they are one of the topmost states.
Okay, when it comes to squash. But Prince, I know that you play regular clinic, monthly clinic, when it comes to squash at the Ake Palace. But is the club thinking about staging a competition? I know that you could help whenever there are just squash competition brought to Ogun, but when we will see the Royalty Club of Egbaland creating a unique competition that will be maybe annually or what have you?
Actually, you know, for the past 3 or 4 years, squash has always been part of the Lishabi festival.
Okay.
So right now we are also having a tournament.
Okay.
Ogun State, you know, youth squash tournament as part of Lishabi.
Okay.
That will also be coming up on Friday. You know, and you know, that is when we will.
Okay. Prince, what is the relationship between the Royalty? There should be a symbiotic relationship between the club and the Squash Association in Ogun State. How close are you? And of course, what benefit are they getting?
We are all one. We work together. We do things in common. And like you said, you see, a game of squash is a game. It's not a game of everybody. But once you come in, you don't want to go out. You don't want to go back. You see what we are doing there. Like my president said, we do it every month. Last Saturday of every month. Starting from 12 noon, we have the junior that we play till about 4. Then the senior takes it from 4 to 7:30 before we sit down and relax ourselves. So these are what we do.
Okay, but coming back to tomorrow is the program.
Yes.
That is the health outreach.
Oh yes.
So by what time are the medical people going to be on ground?
Okay, it's going to be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
To 4 p.m. So people should start coming.
Exactly.
There will be check-up, whether you have hypertension, high blood pressure, what have you.
Or
You also mentioned the use of eye, so there will be glasses. Free glasses will be on tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Free glasses, free drugs. Then, most importantly, you know, one well-meaning Nigerian actually decided that he will sponsor 15 people for surgery, you know, for cataract or glaucoma, which is actually, you know, very impressive.
We want to thank you very much. I want to wish you well, and of course, all the plans you have for the people through the club, we want to pray that it will come to fruition. For this one that we are putting in place for the Lishabi Festival, we want to say, on behalf of the people that will benefit, thank you. It's a good one. And of course, for the development you are giving to the game of squash in Ogun State, we want to say that you shouldn't relent. We want to see more champions emerge from Ogun State. Once again, let me thank the two gentlemen I've been having in the studio from the Royalty Club of Egbaland, who have come to talk on the health reach that they will be having tomorrow as part of the Lishabi Festival. Ogbeni Bayo Shodade, the president, Egba Royalty Club, thank you very much for coming. And of course, Prince Yomi Adedo, director of publicity, Egba Royalty Club.
Thank
Royalty
you so
Club
much.
of Egbaland, thank you.
Thank you
very
so
much for
thank
coming.
You.
Anyway, that's how it's going to be on this Ash Wednesday edition of the program. As I said, Charity James has been my co-presenter. I'm Akim Akitude. On behalf of the producer, KG Shobaloju, and many people too numerous to mention, want to thank you for joining us, for watching right from the time we started around 6:30 a.m. Tomorrow, it will be time for the Yoruba version of the program, Otojo, while Newdwan returns again on Friday, God willing. Same station, Ogun State Television, that people sell. Thanks for watching.